This video is sponsored by Academy Sports and Outdoors, where their everyday low prices make it easier for everyone to enjoy more sports and outdoors. So we absolutely love summer camping. The kids are out of school, days are longer, temperatures are warmer, and it's a great time to get outdoors. The success of your camping trip begins before you ever get out here. We're going to share with you a few tips to help you have your best camping trip ever. First, you need to ask yourself where you're going to go, when you're going to go, and what activities you're going to want to do. Most campgrounds these days, if you're car camping, require reservations or they're first come, first serve. So that's one of the first things that you want to do to ensure that you have a campsite when you get to your location. So after you decide when and where you're going to go, you want to check the weather. Not once, not twice, but a couple times. You know, the weather during the summer can be really erratic. It could be 100 degrees and completely sunny, or it could be like it is today. It's overcast, it's been raining, and it was about 50 degrees early this morning. So you want to be prepared both with your clothing and with your gear. Plus, with the potential for thunderstorms and heavy downpours, you want to be sure that your gear is ready to do that. So check your weather and check it often. Another thing to consider with weather is if it's been really warm and there hasn't been a lot of rain or precipitation, your area may be under a burn ban. What that means is you may not be able to have a campfire. And like that charcoal grill back there, you may not be able to use that either. So those are things that you're going to want to take into consideration when you plan your meals, because meal planning is a huge part of having a great camp out. So now that you've decided where you're going to stay, when you're going to go, and what type of campsites you're going to stay at and what their amenities are, you need to plan for what type of gear you're going to take. Before you ever go camping, you want to be sure that you have everything you need or that you may want to take camping. That includes something like a tent and your sleeping bags and your cooking gear. One of the tents that we really like is this one from Academy. This is the Discovery Adventure 6-person tent. When you have a tent, if you're looking to get a new one, you want one that's a little bit bigger than what you think you may need. For our family of 5, we like a 6 or an 8-person tent, and you have enough room for everyone's sleeping bags plus your gear. Where we like to go for our gear is Academy Sports and Outdoors. Their everyday low prices makes it easier for everyone to enjoy more sports and outdoors. Now, besides your tent, you're going to want your sleeping bags or some type of an air mattress, something to sleep on. You're going to want your cooking gear. What are you going to take? Are you going to go with something like this Dutch oven 5-piece set? Are you going to go with a camp stove and a skillet? Are you going to cook directly over the campfire? Those are some of the considerations you need to have when you're planning for your gear. Now, once you've decided everything that you're going to take, you're going to want to test it. And you're going to want to test it more than once. The kids love helping with this part of the planning process because they get to do it along with you. Usually what we'll do is we'll set everything up in the backyard and we'll have a pre-trip camp out in the backyard. And it's a lot of fun. One thing you're going to want to do, and this may seem really odd, but set up your tent and then get out the garden hose and actually spray down the tent and ensure that it is waterproof. Over time, your waterproof material will degrade and it won't last as long, so you may have to respray it to waterproof it. Nothing ruins a camp out more than being in a tent, having a heavy downpour because the weather changed at a moment's notice and you're sitting in a little bit of a river. Be sure that all of your cookware is clean, it is usable, and if not, replace it. This is a great time to do it, and if you're wanting new gear, do it before the camp out, and so that way you have everything you might need. So one other last piece of gear that you want to check is your first aid kit. With kids, everything and anything that can happen usually does. So you want to be sure that you have a first aid kit. This one that we got at Academy is meant for one person, but it really has everything that you could need, from scrapes and falls to cuts and bruises. Now, the next part of your pre-planning before your camping trip to make it an epic trip is your meals. For us, we love camp cooking. The kids don't consider it a good camp out without at least one campfire with s'mores. So when it comes to meal planning, you want to be sure that you've brought everything that you need with you. You'll want to be sure that your meals are based on the cookware that you have. You want to be sure that your meals are geared towards that type of cookware. If you're in a burn ban, that's also a special consideration on how you're going to cook your meals. You may want to go with some no-cook meals, such as sandwiches, cold salads, maybe some fruit and cold cuts. It's really up to you. use this printable, it'll help make it so much easier to plan your meals, decide what you're going to make, and then what groceries you're going to need to take with you. Your grocery list should include everything from your cooking oils and your seasonings to all of the ingredients that you're going to need. Now, when it comes to packing, I like to have a nice camp box. It's just a Rubbermaid container that has all of my dry goods in it. And then I have my ice cooler. With your ice cooler, you're going to put all of your items that need to be refrigerated. At the very bottom, start with things that can be frozen, like your meats or your dairy, and then put your vegetables on top, fruit, and then at the very top you can put your eggs or your bread, things that may get crushed or may not do so well when they come in contact with ice. Make meals that you actually want to eat when you go camping. Whether that's hot dogs and hamburgers, whether you want to cook a steak, grill kebabs, or you just want to go with dehydrated meals. There's no right or wrong way to have a camping meal. It's just something that you're going to enjoy and have a great time with your family. So now once you're at the campsite, you want to have everyone involved in the setup. With kids, they can go a bunch of different directions. And so one thing that we found from when the kids were really young is to give everybody a task, whether that's helping to bring things out of the car to the campsite, helping set up sleeping bags, helping set up the tent. If they have a task, they have a job, and it keeps them busy. Now, these tips that I'm going to share with you are good year-round, but they are super important to having a great camp out. They set the stage for what's going to be a great weekend and a great week outdoors. Now, you always have your large ice cooler when you go camping, but having like this small 9-quart from Igloo is great to store snacks and to take with you when you go out kayaking or go down to the beach. So one tip when you're setting up your sleeping area is to set your sleeping bags in the direction of any hill that you might be sitting on. Right now our tent is at a slope kind of like this, uphill, downhill. So what you want to do is you want to have the opening to your sleeping bag for your head uphill. That way you won't be waking up with a headache in the morning. What we've done is we've set our sleeping bag and our mat so that way our opening is down here. So those are our tips for having a great family camping trip. During the summer, it's a great time to get outdoors, and I encourage you to do the same. For more tips on camping with your family, you can head down to the link in the description where we have just a few more tips. And as always, remember that Academy Sports and Outdoors has everyday low prices, so it makes it easier for everyone to enjoy more sports and outdoors. They're our go-to place for outdoor camping gear and clothing. And because of their prices, we have more money in our pocketbook to enjoy more family adventures. Thanks for watching. Until next time.